Merry meet and welcome, everyone. I am Serona Rose, and I just want to give us all a quick update about what is going on. If you watch my astrology shows, you know that I always say I wish I could put more in, but I run out of time. So I want to come on and just say Merry meet and just give you a heads up about what energies are going on, especially this weekend. Now, this weekend, Friday, we are having a full moon, and that's going to be in Cancer. And I talked about that on my astrology show, so you can go listen to that for more information. But what I want to talk about here is some aspects that I didn't get to cover. And one of those is the fact that Pallas Athene is conjunct this moon, this full moon. So, also, this full moon will be close to dark moon Lilith, as well as Hades. Hades will be at 11 degrees in Cancer. So Hades, and that's one, these are asteroids, and normally I don't cover asteroids, but I felt these were very important given the times that we are in right now. Now, Hades represents the consciousness of the collective. Hades is known as the underworld, but here he is associated with that as well as karmic debt. Now, this is said to be the beginning of one's soul journey, like the journey of the soul, okay? This goes into the hero's journey as well when we are walking the major arcana in the tarot. So Hades is related to spirituality. He's related to purpose, responsibility, and also transformation, as well as addiction and destruction. So excuse me, this is subconscious energy, and it's an energy of purification of bad deeds. And when we consider the tropical planets, right? Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, those are typically known as sinister planets. Now, I myself, I really don't see them like that. I feel that everything has its purpose. So in saying that, if those planets are there for a reason, right? Now, Pallas Athene is wisdom and knowledge. She's also strategy. She's the war goddess, right? She shows us how to approach situations, how to handle them, to strategize, to make sure that we are taking the correct steps for victory. She wants a victory. So this is, related to creative thinking as well. And she is, and she teaches us to be, to learn more, to gain wisdom. She is a goddess of wisdom. So this is about us gaining wisdom and learning, right? And here she shows us the areas in our life that are healing, that are still healing. So she is very important. Like I said, she is, she's a goddess of war. That is true. And she has that creative thinking in her. So this makes her an energy of expression. And when we get all this, it's basically Pallas Athene. She's not afraid of battle. She's not afraid to, go to war. But that's going to be her last option. She's going to, she uses discernment, and she will exhaust her other means to avoid the war. She's not afraid of it. She respects it and uses discernment. We have to, I see that a lot, we have to learn how to master ourselves and understand there are times to act, there are times to go to war, and then there are times to just allow something to sizzle out on its own. And this is a really clear message that Pallas Athene teaches us, is of that discernment. Now, Dark Moon Lilith, um, this is about sexual liberation. It's the wounded feminine, and this is and she is connected to hidden knowledge, and psychic abilities. She's a warrior too. Okay, Dark Moon Lilith is a warrior as well. And she can also represent the dark parts of ourselves and or that primal instinct. Now, we have these three, conjunct, and one is, a couple of them are in a loose conjunction, but they're in the sign of Cancer. And this is really telling us that it's pointing to telling us to use wisdom and knowledge, to use discernment about things. Lilith is a warrior, and Lilith, she's just, let's go. Let's just burn it all down. Burn the bridge down, burn everything down. And she is in Cancer. Cancer is nurturing, it's mother, it's home. And and we can see her defending that. She is standing up and defending that part. Whereas a Pallas is saying, okay, look, we do have to do this, but there's a certain way that we need to go about doing this. Let's use discernment. We don't always have to cry wolf. One thing we have to realize is that when we're always crying wolf, nobody listens to us anymore. It goes along, I don't know how many of you have heard, it was a fairy tale of the boy who cried wolf. Well, he would go hiding. It was a village where it was being attacked by wolves, and he would go and cry wolf, and somebody would come running, and oh, no, it's a joke, whatever. And then the one day that he needed people, nobody came. And that's why we have to learn how to use discernment. We also have to learn how to transform ourselves and take us out of those addictive and kind of destructive ways that we have, self-destruction. And there's a lot of us that are healing through those things, that are going through many kinds of transitions in their life right now. The past 2 years have been heck for us all. And, now we're at a point to where we're healing, and the energy feels like we are coming out of it. And we are. It's just, it's not going as fast as we would want it to go. And that's, hey, we are a society of instant gratification. And unfortunately, that's how we are. But we have to remember the process of blooming, the process of how life is. You don't just come out of the womb fully grown. You go through steps. Just like plants, when you plant a plant, they don't just pop up fully bloom the next day. There is a process that you go by. There is a way that you take care of that. So the full moon will offer us a great healing from our deep fears and wounds. And some of this can be connected to a father or a father figure. Hades requires us to resolve things, and he wants everything resolved, everything clean. Remember, he's purification. So there is something that we must heal through in order to resolve it, and to go forward. We're going to have to take care of this before we go forward. And this is actually going into the astrology that I'm working on, because the other planets are lining up and saying, yeah, we're going to go forward. And we're not going as fast as we want to go, but it's because there's something that is left. It's not quite finished yet. It's not quite taken care of. So, and this is regarding our spiritual, our physical, our emotional, all parts of us. And those of you that have gut issues, you could be having this because, if you are being triggered and what have you, you could be feeling that. Hades is connected to anxiety and addictions as well as depression. So we have to watch out for that. Now, Pallas and Dark Moon Lilith. Pallas was, she uses discernment, and Lilith is just really tired of waiting for justice. She feels that the only way that she's going to get justice is if she goes out there and gets it herself. So that can be a problem sometimes, especially when you're trying to resolve things. So the sun in Capricorn, because a full moon is the sun opposing the moon, right? And the moon is in Capricorn, the Capricorn in Cancer axis, okay? They're opposite. Now, the Capricorn represents that top-down structure. It's like governments. It's those places of power, okay? And it's the divine feminine in her dark aspect that is standing up and offering support and protection of what we love and value the most: home and security. Now, home and security is, security is two different things. And in our world, and that's one thing that I was just talking about this today, that, we are taught from a very young age to look outside of ourselves, to find things, for help, always look outside of ourselves when we really need to be looking inward. And we're not taught that deeper value of going inward and doing that work. So now we're looking at our old ways and handling our physical life. But Lilith is protecting women and children and the home. So she is going to be relentless in that. She is going to, and Athene is doing her best to help her use discernment. But, Hades wants things resolved. So there has to be a resolve. Now, on the 9th, Mars and Venus had a square, and that is another one of those moments where we're having a reality check, and we need to get this balance here. We need to get this harmony going. The moon in Cancer. Now, the moon is Cancer's planet, so the Cancer is completely at home in the moon, and she's able to expand. She's comfortable, but she's urging us to tune into our feelings as well and our emotions. Not to act on them, but to tune into them and sit with yourself, be present, and see how you feel. Here the message is to trust in your feelings and trust in yourself, to trust in your intuition. This is a very sensitive time. I'm feeling this energy, and it's the night before, and I'm totally feeling it, and I know that a lot of people are. This is emotional energy, and it's sensitive energy. It's very, very sensitive energy. So it's wanting to teach us to honor the truth of our energy, of who we are, and, to be honest with ourselves and to give ourselves what we need, to nurture ourselves if we need it, to rest if we need it. Cancer is a nurturing sign, but here it calls attention to home. This is our vessel. And if this is our vessel, then, and if we want to be channels of light, and we want to be our channels of, for divinity, whatever, if we want to walk in a spiritual path, we need to take care of these vessels. That goes not only into, taking every vitamin, but it's also about exercising the body. It's about taking care of your body, purifying, cleansing and cleaning your body, taking care of the energy fields, taking care of your chakras, taking care of all of that. It is the whole process. So we can't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to quit sugar and I'll be okay. No, it's the whole process. If you're wanting to, it's like if you want to step up, you have to be ready for that step up. You can't be lagging back, and you can't be on floor 2 and go straight to floor 11. You have to change, and with each of those changes, you're leaving behind something that kept you stuck. That is the process. That is it. That is change. There is always a sacrifice of some kind in some form, always, and we have to understand that. Be honest with ourselves, and make sure that we're not over giving. That is one thing that I do see a lot of, is that, and I myself, I'm guilty of it as well. I'm really guilty of it. And we need to make sure that we are not overwhelming ourselves and giving too much of ourselves. Now, when the moon is opposing the sun in Capricorn, it's reminding us of our responsibilities. Capricorn is about our personal responsibilities. So while Mercury is retrograde, this is giving us the needed time to slow down and get things finished. This is really good energy as we are coming into a new year, coming out of I'll say the calendar year. Many of us celebrate the actual new year at different times. So we're coming into 2023, and it's good to sit back and have some reflection. And Mercury will also conjunct the sun, and Mercury is receiving info from the sun as well as giving info. It's an exchange of energy. So here we're seeing things that we missed the first time, and it's okay to slow down. We have to slow down. It's about reprioritizing and refocusing our energy and where we're going. Capricorn asks us to reserve our energy so that, because Capricorn is always looking for, the long run, make sure it's going to last the long run. And, it wants us to release what isn't practical and important. So it's like, okay, this is not working. This is where we're going. We want to go quicker. This is not going to be for us, whatever. It's time to get rid of it. So this is also a time that a lot of people could be changing directions, reassessing their life. Again, reassessing, refocusing, reprioritizing. Oh my goodness, all the re's. And a lot of you could be making decisions and are having opportunities come up to you that you decide to take, that will take you in a different direction that you may not have realized or even guessed that you would have went down. So it can be a little shocking. The Cancer and Capricorn axis, this is a very healing axis, but it is associated with the family and parents and personal connections, private connections, and it's how we show up in the world, what we are responsible for, looking at caring for ourselves better, right? Again, practical. Capricorn wants to last the long term. He wants, he's looking at years down the road. And if you're not healthy and everything isn't doing good, then years down the road may not be happening. So this is about, caring for ourselves and making sure that we take that downtime, that rest that we need. A lot of us have very stressful holidays, and especially, it's just the holidays aren't too far behind us. So, get the rest that you need. Now, full moons, it is the sun opposing the the moon, okay? But it's the masculine and the feminine. And this is about harmony. It's about harmonization and balance. So, we are being called also to balance our work and our play, our spiritual, our physical life. And, you know, something that, something that has been in our mind, um, this is a good time for maybe having a different perspective about it. Sometimes when sometimes it just takes you stepping out of the situation to really get a better kind of view of what's going on. This is a good moon to take care of yourself, rest, recuperate, be with your family and friends, those that are close connection with you. Pay attention to your feelings, be present in your body. Be very, very present. Outside, what is going on in our world, it is full of fear. It's a time of fear and distrust outside, um, and it's kind of confusing right now for many of us, because as all of these places that we were taught to trust in and believe in were there to protect us, it seems things are changing. And it's just not in the United States. It's everywhere. It is, Brazil, China, everywhere. Everywhere. Iran. Oh gosh, I named them on my show. I named several on my show. But it is a time of upheaval for sure. And it is a time of the people stepping up. So now, when we get to this full moon, we're going to be sitting. This is the first full moon of the year. So we're going to be sitting with everything that has went on that past year, and we're being present. We're taking, we're regrouping, seeing how we can go forward in a better way. And this does take time. Okay, this does take time. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's just going to take time. And it feels like there's a lot of things here that's something that has been working on, that you've been working on, and it's been in your mind for a while. So, I can see that it's going to be a good time to start working those things out. Also, we need to understand the difference between healing through a wound and allowing it to define who we are. We can take care of a wound, but if we still rip the Band-Aid off and bother it, we're going to open it back up. It's time to rewrite our stories. Those wounds, yes, they're there, they're real, and I'm sorry that, people had to go through tragic events and suffer deep wounds. But we have to keep working through them. And that's easier said than done. I know that. And sometimes it does require help from counselors and psychologists and psychotherapists and what have you. Or even readers. A lot of people will go to spiritual readers and stuff, and I giggle because, when you're reading, you see sometimes those things that people, they don't want to see. And it's not funny. It's just that, it's just one of those things, to see it here in astrology, and then to see when you're doing that, it's just one of those things. So, so while we're working through this, we can't let it define us. We have to keep working through it, rewriting the story. We're not the victim. We're not a victim. And that's part of that victim mentality, the martyrism. That's a part of that's falling off. And this is about, you know, this year is the number 7. So it is about coming into your sovereignty and into your individualization. And remember, always use discernment in things, okay? I know that there are times that you just get really mad and teed off. I get it. I really get it. I understand. But we must use discernment. Sometimes it's better to just let it go. And there's things that, you know, I've said stuff and people have responded, and I'm like, and I look at it, I'm like, is that really what they're going to go with? And it's not even worth it. No action sometimes is the best thing. You know, many times people will be their own undoing if you allow them. They will. But, you know, that is a learning experience for them as well. So Uranus is trining the sun during this time, and the sun will have a sextile with the moon. So something surprising could happen. You could be doing something unexpected. Something may come up. Some kind of event will come up and you do something unexpected. Or maybe it's something that you've been thinking about doing for a while, and you know it's time to go for it. So you know, trust your intuition, trust yourself, trust your needs and what you need. Make sure you give yourself what you need. Also, you know, really tap into how you feel intuitively. Use discernment. It's going to be very important. Use discernment. This is a very, you know, you have Cancer, Cancer full moon. This is very emotional energy. And, you know, just make sure you're grounding yourself. Make sure that, you know, you step back for a minute. Don't react. Respond. Some of the best advice I was ever given when people ask me something that, you know, it's just crazy questions and whatnot, because, you know, I do get crazy questions. I do get all kinds of questions and remarks and things like that. And just when I, you know, I just, you know, I answer the best I can. Sometimes it'll be, you know, I'll think about that and get back to you, you know. Sometimes no action is best. It's not being ugly. It's just that, you know, some people don't necessarily do things from a point of wanting to know. Some people just do things. So just to be facetious. So anyway, that is it with the reading. So blessed full moon in Cancer. This is a great full moon. It's going to offer us a lot of healing energy, and yeah, take advantage of it. Be present within yourself. Make sure you're grounding, okay? Ground. So I wish you all the best, and I will see you next time. Merry part till we merry meet again.